Hi everyone, this is Kaze. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to provide, after playing the game for some time, provide some tips to help everyone to play. If you are starting the game or later in a few months you are doing global release, I think this will help you as you progress through the levels. I think the first tip I wanted to quickly let everyone know is that just focus on your adventures. So you have the real world and the fantasy land. So when you do the quest, just start from the real world, finish chapter 1, finish chapter 2, and then go to fantasy land to do the main story quest. So just keep doing the main story quest until you reach or complete the main story chapter 2, and then once the twisted images will open up. But what happens when you finish the main story chapter 2? You actually get access to troop. So this is something like an airship or house where you get the officers. There's also mini games where you can get more details, you can combine equipment, and there's also things like aesthetically, like the photo studio, which I find it very interesting. For example, so if you want to take pictures of your favorite characters, you can take it here. So for example, if I really like Fanny, so I'll change her, and then and we can take pictures. So there are various ways you can take. You can even invert it and put it as a portrait or landscape, so it can be a wallpaper on your handphone, mobile device, or even your laptop, desktop. So different views here, and then you can also take out the menu here. So it's great, and even the expression like please, greeting. So it's great. So really like it. So like this is some of the troop options which you will get. And not only that, you also get the expedition. So you set the units out, and they also all get resources. So this will unlock once you complete the main story chapter 2. So just play the game, slowly level up your characters, and then if there are quests that you can't complete, just slowly level them up one by one. It's good to have a team where the levels are quite similar. So let's go to the team setup. So if you go to team setup, you see that you have Guardian, Hoplite, Assassin, Ranger, Caster, and Eruthyll, which is your healer. So for team setup, it depends on the enemy. So let's say I usually go for either one Guardian, which is either Basil or one Guardian, or one Hoplite. One is either Basil, Euphoria, or one Guardian. One healer, one Eruthyll. So my main healer is Ruko, but the other healers are good as well, like Asa, Sela, and Kodia. And then two range types, which would be either Casters, Ranger, or Assassin. So it's like a 1-1-2 formation. So I will show what's the formation like. So let's say if we go to the adventures, so if you click on formation, so now I usually have, you can do a 1-1-2. So one Guardian or Hoplite. So my Hoplite will be Euphoria. It should be in the front. And then I have a healer, who is usually behind, and a caster. So looking at the cast, I might have her and her. So this might work. So let's have a look to see whether we will. So this is one formation which you can use. So one Hoplite or Guardian, one healer here, and 2 range, which is casters, assassins, or ranger. So this is one way you can set up your team. The other way you can set up your team will be to have, let's say if you do have very enemies with very heavy front lines, instead of one hoplite or guardian, you might want to choose 2. So for example, I might put Basil and Euphoria, and then I get the healer is a must, so you would definitely need a healer, which will help you a lot in battles. And then you have to choose one range. So the range can be something that will counter the main front line or the back lines. But let's say just I'll have Fanny, so they will counter the front line. So this is like a 2 front line, 1 back line, ranger, caster or assassin, and 1 healer. So this is something like a very simple team setup which you can use. So depending on various forms, so you can definitely, depending on what you like, you can set up the teams. So as we go back to the team roster as well, you might ask, what sort of elements do you want to focus on? So I would say there are 2 types, 2 main classes of elements. One class will be Pyro, Hydro, Animal. The other class will be Lumina and Umbra, which is light and dark essentially. So let's talk about Pyro, Hydro, and Animal. So between the 3, find 2 to focus on. But I would say the first one that you want to focus on will be Pyro. So get 1 Pyro, a Guardian or Hoplite, 1 Pyro Ranger, and possibly if you have 1 Pyro Healer. If you don't have it, that's fine. So Pyro element will be, I think for the first 2 main story quests, you can put Pyro as a priority, and then followed by Hydro or Animal, depending on who you draw. So if you do draw more animal characters, maybe you want to do Pyro and Animal. If you do draw more Hydro characters from the free wishes or your draws, you might want to do Pyro and Hydro. So this will help you a lot in your main story 1 and main story 2. For Lumino and Umbra, it also depends on what you draw. So Lumino and Umbra, the good thing is that if they meet any Pyro, Hydro, or Animal enemies, there's no bonus damage or bonus defense. Lumino only counters Umbra, and Umbra only counters Lumino. So it's up to personal preference whether you want to raise the levels on each of your characters. But I would say start with Pyro. So that's tip number 3. I think one thing from playing as well is I've noticed that if you go to your inventory, there's a stamina here which you deplete whenever you go on missions. So do take note that you can replenish them either through your standard Dubristol, which is your currency, or you use these elixirs or E3, they call it, to replenish. Do note that there's a time limit on the E3, so it's not like you can keep it like for 2 months when you start to play the game. I'm not sure whether they will remove this during global release, but let's say if you're playing it now, do note that, like for example, you have 8 days to use it. So use those capsules to raise your stamina when to complete quests or to gather resources. So what happens if you have a lot of stamina? So for Bilibili games I've played before, they also implemented the same concept. Like Bilibili games like Archery Gear, they do have offline play. What do I mean by offline play? Is that, let's say if you have a lot of stamina, you can opt to go for auto battle. So let's say if you have maybe 200 stamina, you want to go for auto battle, you can actually do it. You can go into auto battle. You can select the number of times you want to do it. So let's say, yeah, maybe 5, 6, 7 times, and then maybe 1 time. So I will raise this so everyone can see what is the so let's say if you do it, you select it and you want to do it, you can do it 10 times for example, and then do remember to click on the offline mode here, open. If you want them to auto refill, that's fine. If not, just uncheck the box, but you want to have it offline mode. So what happens if you turn it on, and let's say if you have 100 times here or 10 times here, if you have this turned on, have your characters or teams start to do the quest, and you can turn your phone off or turn the game off, and they will continue to do the quest until they finish the 10 times. So this is something that you can do offline. So the auto battles are something there to help you get more resources. So depending on what resources you want, whether it's gold, whether it's gold like Golden Storm here, stamina, or currencies which you want to farm. So there's this offline play. So there's more features here, and I'll definitely want to showcase some of my summoning. So this is all I have for today. Please like and subscribe to my channel if you find this useful, and this will also help support my channel. Thank you and see you.